Good morning. Good morning. Why is it so bright in here? There we go. That might be a little bit better. Good morning, good people. Today is Sunday, May 4th, 2025. Here we are at Department of Career Services, G.school, for the weekend, here to help our viewers experience this life. No big deal. Okay, so this is based upon a Christian view, Christian outlook, Christian belief in the world that there is a God, creator, that Jesus was his son or creator also, who came to earth, who became man, and came to teach us certain things. That we have a soul that continues after death. And that what happens next after we shed this mortal coil, this body, what happens next is a function of how we perform while we have the body. So if you don't take care of the body, if you don't honor the gift of being in a body, spirit in a body, if we don't honor that, what happens next will be related to that. So if we don't do well here, what's going to happen next isn't well either. What the Hindus could call reincarnation. I'm not going into that, saying it's true, false, right, wrong. But Jesus certainly talks about if you follow my commandments, you will become one with the Father and I. And if you don't, you will go into the lake of fire. Not really any indication of whether somebody can become baryonic one more time, but presumably it would be true. You can become theoretically one with the Father and I, back to being a spirit, and maybe you say, you know what, I want to do it again. It was so much fun last time. I want to do it again. Good morning, what not a bevy. Good morning, how was your day yesterday? How was the shrimp fest, etc.? Okay, so anyway, today's theme, today's meme is what? Measure twice, comma, ... So the old saying is measure twice, cut once. So it had to do with cutting fabric. Measure it twice, cut it once. But it couldn't have anything to do with, well, where'd I go? I'm out of focus. There we go. Could have to do with anything. Cutting wood, measure twice, cut once. Because once you cut it, there's no going back. Measure twice, cut once. And that kind of fits in with Seth Godin's thing of sorting and choosing. We'll talk about that in a minute. And advice from an 80-year-old, take charge of your attitude. Don't let someone else don't let someone else choose for you. So there's kind of this meme of measure twice, cut once. Just choosing and sorting and choosing. And take charge of your attitude. Don't let someone else choose it for you. You working today, what not a bevy? Out in Fort Jacks. Well, I've already done my 10 minutes of stretching and 20 minutes of beginner yoga. Thanks to my Peloton, the Peloton. Right. Yes, 1 to 7. Okay, good. Cool. How about choich? How about flirch, as Lucy calls it? I'll be going to 7:30 service at the Lutheran Church. So far this week, Friday night, Messianic, 6:30. Interesting. Number 2, the concept is interesting. The way it is done is actually very good. Complementary on organization and structure. Good on that. Good on participation. Concept, not really clear about right now. So no comment on that. Execution, good. Saturday night, Catholic Church. The ritual, the reverence, thumbs up. Yes, like Ron, that is correct. And I would say it's totally unnecessary. Execution, good. Point, I'm not quite clear about, but I don't see why it's even necessary to fuse the two rather than just move forward. Okay. Saturday that. Sunday, Lutheran Church. Assemblies of God. Next. Pastor George, the Methodist Church, he's on his excursion, his motorcycle ride, charity drive. So I don't know about that. And let's see what else. Lunch maybe with Chaplain Drake. Okay, so Whatnot Bevy, glad you're here. Big question is, or we need to say good morning, Miss Trinkle, wherever you are. Bonk, so I'm doing this. Wherever you are, peace be to you. Nothing but good thoughts. Okay, well, we're 7:25 in. Let's look at what is advice from an 80-year-old again. Advice from an 80-year-old is take charge of your attitude. Don't let someone else choose for you. That will be a good segue into Seth Godin. Sorting and choosing. One is far more important than the other. What's more important, sorting or choosing? Sorting puts our options into two piles, two or more piles. One pile is the don't like, no. The other pile is the okay, absolute. So I would do triage. I always believe in triage. One pile, absolutely no, no way, not till hell freezes over, etc. The other pile, absolutely, positively would do this. And then the middle pile is the perhaps. It's intriguing. Quickly go through sorting. And if you go through sorting like that, fast, absolutely no, absolutely yes, maybe. What you should end up with is a natural distribution. There are some that are absolutely no, and some that are absolutely yes, and many that are maybe. When you're done, focus on the absolutely yes pile, and if there's enough of them in there, like some statistically valid number, you could actually randomly just choose any of those because you've all said they're absolutely good. If you only have one or two in there, now you need to look at the maybe pile and go through the maybe pile and do the same thing once again, one more iteration. Well, given that there's 30 maybes, I can go through and take out the nap, 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 Larry David kind of thing. And then once again, I look at my positive ones and I can compare the maybes to the absolutely yes If the maybes are not in the same category, caliber of that, just take the yes. Take one of the two yeses, but sorting and choosing. So ultimately 2 piles, a yes pile and a no pile. 1 pile is the don't like, not good enough, or wrong stack. These are the flavors we don't enjoy. The paths dead ends, and the people we simply don't want to hang out with. The other pile meets spec. The other pile is good enough. Choosing among the good enough makes a small difference. But getting the piles right is the hard part. All the time we're agonizing about our choices, we're avoiding the hard work of really considering how we sorted things in the first place. We need to spend less time choosing and more time sorting. Thanks to Annie Duke for the idea. Okay, so what if we reorient our life towards, instead of choosing, we reorient our life into sorting? I'm buffering bad. Instead of choosing an attitude that we want to take towards something, we sort the different attitudes we could have. In other words, okay, I could be nice or I could be not nice. And if I'm not nice, here's the different not nices I could have. Here's the different nices I can have. Sort out. Once I sort out my choices of what's the attitude I take in this situation, then I choose one. And perhaps taking a little bit of time of sorting the different choices that we have, perhaps if we do that, we would be less reactive. We'll spend a little bit more time thinking of here's the different reactions I can have to the situation. If I do this, it's good. This is where it's going to go. If I do this, this is where it's going to go. And then I can choose the best course rather than react to what's in front of me. Because what is my end goal? Right, whatever it is. So, what not a bevy when you go to work today, when you have interactions with people, when you observe them, perhaps we can take a microsecond, take a few nanoseconds to sort the different responses I could have, rather than the default setting, to use David Foster Wallace's term, our default setting. Always, you push this button, here's what's always going to happen. Maybe somebody pushes a button, maybe we process and maybe consider what was their motivation for pushing the button. Was it to hurt? Was it to help? Were they trying to tear me down, or were they trying to build me up? Or do I just not exist in their world? I'm just a something to be moved. I'm just being manipulated. I'm just a tool or an obstacle. I'm just something to help them get to where they want, or I'm an obstacle in their path. When you're at the front desk greeting at Planet Fitness, what are you to the people who approach? Are you a tool? Are you a means to an end, which is okay? Or are you an obstacle? I want to get in free. I want to cheat. I want to do something that I don't want you to know I'm doing, so I'm going to treat you as an obstacle. You're in my way. And if you decide someone finds you're in their way, maybe there's a way, maybe you can, again, sort. Well, should I respond in kind? Okay, I'm in your way. I'm going to stay in your way. You move this way. I'm going to move that way. I am in your way. Or it's, I'm not in your way. I am a tool to help you get to where you want to go. Where do you want to go? And if it's someplace positive, I will help you get there, type of thing. Okay, something to ponder now. Let's look at how does that fit in with our TED Talk for the day. Our TED Talk for today is Blaine Elkers talking about what? Waiteba. What you about, you bring about. What you think about, you bring about. So how does that fit into sorting and choosing? Well, if we're thinking about sorting and choosing, what do we bring about? According to Blaine Elkers, what you think about, you bring about. If we think about sorting our different reactions, responses, what do we bring about? I would say we bring about sorting our responses. We bring that about. um, right. We bring about sorting. I'm just thinking right now, Lutheran Church, we're going to be having communion. Cool, wine in the morning. So we think about what we bring about sorting our responses and what happens, what could, should happen if we spend time sorting into yes, no, to just simple yes, no, and we just randomly choose one of the yeses. Are we going to be moving forward or backwards? Are we going to be putting air in the tire or deflating the tire? If we want to slow people down, we deflate the tires. If we want to speed them up, we inflate the tires, but not too much. If we want to stop them dead, we what? Slash the tires, puncture the tires, etc. Okay, we're 16 minutes and 50 seconds in. Let's look at this. Themo, Memo, Waiteba. What you think about, you bring about. And he talks about just simple things like think of your mind as a garden. What you plant is what you will. What you sow is what you will reap. If you plant carrots, you're going to get carrots. You're not going to get lettuce. If you plant lettuce, you're going to get lettuce, not carrots. If you plant negativity, you're going to see the world that way. And Jordan Peterson says that worldview will pull you towards itself, to a negative thing, which is why it's not good to be watching, listening to, participating in negative stuff, especially like TV and movies that are scary, negative, etc. There's no good thing for that. Well, there could be. If you want to learn to be a hero, as Jordan Peterson says, you take your kid to a movie about dragons and things like that, knights and dragons, and you tell the kid, focus on the knight, focus on the hero. Don't focus on the guys who are going to get killed, the guys in the red shirts from Star Trek. Don't focus on them. Focus on the hero, because he will go down, be his hero's journey, right? He's going to have trials, travails. He's going to go through the dark night of the soul, but he's going to come out on the other side. And if we watch that, we see that if you stick to it, if you have discipline, if you don't give in to your fear, you will come out the other side stronger and better, and you will be able to help others on that journey. Okay, so let's see. I think we got it. I think we covered all of the steps that are in here. So today is a big study day for me. I'm starting to work on my final project, plus I have to get prepared for class tomorrow, which is about what? I have to be prepared to talk about Buddhism. And I'm not just going to talk about what is it. I'm going to put some practical application to it, whatnot, a bevy. I think I sent you a link to the paper I have to read, to my reading assignment, which I then have to condense and synthesize. I'm still reading your assignment. Okay, good. Boom. But I am going to compare and contrast it to Ignatian spirituality. But maybe I'll do it with Stoicism instead, and then take the step of Stoicism to Ignatian spirituality. because a common link between Stoicism and Buddhism is no need for a God. No, there's no need for a God. And I have observed that as Christianity was going up after the year 300, the Stoic schools were being closed. And I think the reason for that is Christianity became the official language of the official religion of Rome. And it is a theistic religion where Stoicism, you don't need a God. So why would we have schools that say you don't need a God if the official religion is there is a God? Let's incorporate some of the best stuff from Stoicism into this new Christianity thing. So we'll see. That's what I'm thinking. Time is running. Time is up. Need to say and cut. Whatnot, Bevy. Have a great day. I'll try to call you.